Hello, humans and monsters and other creatures. Savage is here, coming back with part 6 of What If Deku had Death Note. Now, where we last left off, Izuku have been taken away into the police station by the police officers, specifically the detective, of course, the chief of police, All Might, Principal Nezu, while Shinso and the other students of UA continue their normal day in the school because the day of the school not ended yet, and Izuku have gone there. But before we get right into it, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's just get right into it. As Izuku right now inside the interrogation room, and Ryuk is nowhere to be seen because just in the last part when Izuku written inside his notebook that he will gonna give 50 apples to Ryuk if he just left him alone because he doesn't want All Might to see Ryuk. And Ryuk is right now nowhere to be seen. He's right now in the house waiting for Izuku and he will gonna come back. As right now Izuku just sitting on a chair, and right now on his hands some sort of a quirk cancelling things or devices around his hands to make sure that he's not gonna activate a quirk, or at least if he even have a quirk. A couple of police officers come into the room with some sort of a machine, wrap it around Izuku's head and put it on, some things around his, chest and other things like that. As Izuku said, why all of these things? Keeping himself, trying to stay calm so no one will gonna think that he's Reaper. As after that, the police officer, or, the chief of police said, it's just something to make sure that you are not going to lie. As after that, Izuku said, why would I lie? I doesn't even know the reason why I am here. As after that, immediately the chief of police inside the room with the detective, and outside of the room on the other side of them, of course, the glass that Izuku cannot see through it, only they can see inside the room, All Might and Principal Nezu, and also another police officer just to keep them comfortable. As All Might said, are you sure about this, Principal Nezu? He doesn't have a quirk. Maybe it's just a mistake. Well, All Might, maybe he doesn't have a quirk, but he can be hiding it. Not every single quirk in the world is able to be seen on the sonar. Like for example, All for One is a quirk that cannot be seen under the radar, unless it will gonna take another quirk. It basically, the person that having that quirk is basically quirkless without stealing another one. And even if he stole another one, we won't even know that he have All for One unless he have another quirk. As All Might said, well, I know maybe the quirk All for One is something that cannot be shown under the radar, but this kid is not All for One, and All for One is a completely different quirk, but I just feel bad for getting him into this situation. As Principal Nezu said, well, everything will be okay if he wasn't Reaper, right? Which I also feel bad for Izuku. He's one of the best students in the general course. Heck, he's even the best student in the general course. He have broke all the records and all the numbers that I ever, imagined that I will be able to see inside my school. He is the first student and the best of them all in the school. So I really will gonna feel bad if he really turned out to be a Reaper. And I wish that he is not him, but we can't be sure, All Might, until we try. As All Might said, alright, Principal Nezu, alright. As inside the interrogation room, the chief of police is just going back, left and right, walking, and after that he said, so, your name is Izuku Midoriya? Yeah, my name is Izuku Midoriya. As they are just looking onto the computer or the screen to see if Izuku is lying or not. As after that, the chief of police continues saying, tell me, when did you join UA? As Izuku said, well, I got into the entrance exam and I joined the general course. As the chief of police said, what was your score in the general course? As Izuku just give him a number, and after that the chief of police continues saying, good. Now, what is your thought about Reaper? As after that, Izuku still trying to calm himself, as he said, maybe he's a villain, but he's kinda doing a good thing. I mean, the crime rate has gone down by 2% by now, As after that, the chief of police looking at the police officer that looking into the screen, as he just looked back into the chief of police and nod his head with agreement. As after that, the chief of police said, well, can I know if you would, do you know who is Reaper? As Izuku said, of course I doesn't know. As they start seeing that Izuku heart start, pumping much more faster in his, mind, just getting a little bit more, how can I say it? Scared. As after that, the chief of police just looking onto the guy and the guy just nodding his head with the, disagreement. As the chief of police said, are you lying? As Izuku trying to calm himself and said inside his mind, Izuku, stay calm, stay calm. They doesn't have anything on you. Just continue. Alright. No, I doesn't know. I'm not lying. As the chief of police looking into the guy, and the guy starts seeing that Izuku heart rate start going back to normal. As he just nod with agreement. As the chief of police said, good. As after that, the detective coming closer into Izuku and sit in front of him as he said, Izuku Midoriya, that is your name. You are 16 years old, your mother is Inko Midoriya, you live in an apartment building. One of your friends, and his name is Katsuki Bakugo. His mother and father have died on supposedly his father actually killed someone and he's right now in prison for what he done. And also his mother have been killed by a car accident in the street, and the person that was driving the car have died after getting some glass shards into his head, and that was the reason for his death. But we also suspect that Reaper was the reason for their death. What do you think about that? As Izuku said, well, it was an accident. I mean, Reaper said that he doesn't kill innocent people. As after that, the detective said, well, he may be not killing innocent people, but he might kill for revenge. As Izuku said, what are you saying? What kind of revenge? As the detective stand up again and said, look, Izuku, I want to help you. You are a good student. Principal Nezu told me that you are such a great student in his school. Heck, you are the best student in his school. Well, I'm talking about the general course, of course. You are the smartest kid in your school. And hey, maybe some students hate you just because you are quirkless, but that doesn't mean that you are not great. You have a great future. I can see you standing right now in a places that maybe, like, for example, a leader of a, some sort of a new hero school, maybe even a better hero school than you, maybe a police officer or a detective, or even maybe something even bigger than that, a president. As Izuku said, the president really not the thing that I'm going for here, but thanks anyway. As the detective said, and that's exactly what I need you to say the truth for me. I need you to speak with the truth, Izuku. Tell me, are you Reaper or not? As Izuku just looking into the detective eyes, and after that the police officer that right now on the device, he just looking into Izuku heart rate and starts seeing it going up and down, trying to stay steady, but it's just going up and down, start getting so scared. As after that, the detective looking into of course, the police officer, as the police officer nod his head with agreement and lifting a thumbs up. As the detective, waiting for Izuku to answer, but Izuku said, but he immediately stopped him and said, alright, I'm sorry for what I'm doing to you. It's just that Reaper was going around around the world was from such a long time, and it's really kinda hurt my head. Sorry, give us a couple of minutes, alright? As Izuku said, alright. As after that, they just take the device off of Izuku's body, taking the things off of his, chest and everything, and leaving the room, leaving with Izuku only one police officer, while they just looking at him through the glass, and Izuku just looking into the glass, but he really can only see his reflection. As on the other side of the glass, the chief of police, the detective, All Might, Principal Nezu. The chief of police said, well, what have you found, detective? As the detective said, well, he doesn't seem to lie a lot, but we have some, some things that we are still not sure about. He said that he doesn't know anything about Reaper, and he's might be saying the truth because the device didn't show us that his heart rate was going so high at that question. But also when I asked him if he was Reaper, his heart rate started going very high, like he started getting scared. As the All Might says, so does that mean that he is Reaper? As the detective said, there is still one other thing that I want to see. Principal Nezu? Yeah, what is it, detective? Right now, your school is still, the students still in your school, right? The school day is not ended yet, right? As Principal Nezu said, well, yeah, the school day is not ended yet. It will gonna end on about other 2 hours. As the detective said, that's all what I need. As after that, Alma said, what are you going to do? As the detective said, I'm gonna watch. That's all what I'm gonna do. As All Might getting surprised and said, what are you saying? As the detective said, let's just watch, All Might, you're gonna understand everything in the end. As All Might just looking on Izuku, that Izuku's just looking left and right, doesn't see anything in front of him. As after that, immediately the police officer in front of Izuku getting, someone calling him inside his earpiece. So he said, uh-huh, alright, I'm going out. Kid, stay here, don't go anywhere. As he just leave the room, leaving Izuku all alone to only hear the sound of the clock on the wall. As half of an hour have been going away while Izuku still inside the room alone. As Izuku just looking on the hour, playing with his fingers and start thinking to himself, why are they leaving me inside this room? What are they trying to do? Damn it. Did they found out about me? No, this can't be. I tried to keep myself as low as possible. But the last question when he asked me to be a Reaper, did he found about me? They can't suspect me without a real evidence. This is just impossible. But why did they left me right now for half an hour in here? As Izuku looking into the hour, and after that he just looking at the hour, the watch just ticking, tick tock, tick tock. As immediately Izuku getting shocked and said, wait, the school day still continue. The students in UA are still, doing their normal day of a school? He can't be serious. Does he think that a Reaper will not go... Wait a minute. No. Don't tell me that he's thinking about that. I was normally start killing people after the school day ended. Does that mean that he expecting for someone to die in this hour? And if nobody will going to die, he will gonna think that I am Reaper? No, this can't be. There must be something else. Calm down, Izuku, calm down. Think, what can you possibly do? I doesn't have my notebook, I doesn't have anything, but are they seriously gonna wait for 2 hours to see if I'm really Reaper? No, Izuku, calm down, think about a plan. You come too far, you can't just give up right here. Come on, calm down, just think about a plan, anything. What do I have right here? What do I have? I only have one paper in my shoes, but nothing else. I just have that. What could I possibly do with that? And even if I will gonna use it, they will gonna be able to see me through the glass, and they have a camera on here, and they still keeping my hands with this stupid quirk canceling device. Damn it. As after that, another half an hour goes by while Izuku's still thinking about any sort of a plan to do, but nothing is helping. All Might, the Principal Nezu, and the other chief of police and detective are still watching Izuku, while another police officer come closer to them and he said, Mr. Chief of Police, right now there is no kills happened in the prison of Tartarus, or any other prisoners have been killed right now. And no one have been killed in the streets. No, not even a single villain. And no one of the heroes are right now trying to kill themselves. Everything is still normal. As after that, the chief of police said, good job. As after that, of course, the the police officer leave the place as the detective said, well, it seems that our theory is right, as All Might said, so you are saying, if nobody will gonna die at this hour, or at least when the school day will gonna end, that mean that this kid is Reaper? Well, I'm saying if nobody is going to die in this hour, that mean that we have a solid idea, or you can say the suspect number one on our hands right now. He might be a Reaper, it's just a theory. As after that, Alma said, you are waiting for someone to die? Seriously? That's your plan? As after that, the chief of police said, we can't stop them from dying, All Might. If we stop them and wrap them inside the chair to keep them in a safe place, they will only die in a heart attack, and we can't stop that. No matter what we are doing, there is always a way for Reaper to kill whoever he wants. He always kills someone, and we can't stop that. We just given up on trying to stop him. So right now, the only way that we could found him and to stop what he's doing is basically to capture him. And right now, this is the only way that we have to capture him. So please, All Might, understand that what we are doing right now is for the greater good and for the society. As All Might said, I just wish that nobody will gonna die, and I wish that it's hard to believe. A quirkless kid being the person that was the reason for all those heroes and villains' death is just hard to believe. As Izuku's still inside the room, as he think to himself and said, damn it, it's only another hour and they will gonna find out about me. Does that mean that I failed? Should I just give up and tell them the truth? They will gonna basically wrap me into pieces to know how did I even do it. They will gonna put me somewhere inside the lab and start experimenting on me until they found the way that I was killing all those people. They will just gonna torture me. No, please no. Izuku, just think about something. Think about something. As after that, Izuku's body starts shaking. And All Might just looking at him, and he said he is shaking. As after that, the detective said, well, it seems that he still start to break, huh? As the detective and of course All Might start saying, is he really a Reaper? As Izuku starts, just shaking, trying to not show how he is shaking, but it's so visible for everyone that watching him right now. As Izuku is trying to hold his tears and saying, no, I'm not end up like this. I'm not gonna end up like this. No, please, no. Please, where is Ryuk when you need him? Damn it, why did I put myself in this stupid situation? What is the wrong thing that I done? What is the thing that I done wrong here? I didn't get my revenge from Bakugo yet. I didn't make this world even better than it was before. And I'm gonna die right here? No, please, no, please. They will gonna torture me if they found out about me. No, please, no. No, please, anything. Please, Ryuk, do anything. I know that you can't leave me like this, but the rules said that I should never trust him. Is he really gonna leave me like this? As Izuku's just imagining the look on Ryuk's face, how he is just laughing into his face, saying that he failed everything and he's just, gonna be put under the radar, so they will gonna found the way that he's basically able to kill all those people without a quirk. As Izuku's still, trying to hold his tears, but before he managed to start to cry, he said, it's over, everything is over. I am done. They will gonna know the truth, and I'm just gonna be some sort of a rat experiment or something like that. They will gonna, but before he managed to continue, suddenly someone burst into the room and said, come on kid, it's time for you to come out. As Izuku looked into the police office and said, what? As the police officer said, come on, come out. As after that, immediately he coming closer into Izuku and got hold of his hands after taking the quirk cancelling device off of his arms. As after that, Izuku stand up and just touching his wrist and said, what are you doing? As the Yeah, of course, the police officer said, well, you can go back to your house. As Izuku said, oh, what? As Principal Nezu come inside the room said, yeah, Izuku, you can go back to your house. There's no more help for you. And I'm sorry if we made you go a little bit scared on yourself. Don't worry, you're not Reaper, we already know that. We were just, trying to see what will gonna happen. Sorry if we hurted you. Take the rest of the school day arrest for you. Go back to your house, alright? As Izuku said, really? As after that, the chief of police said, yeah, young Midoriya, you can go back to your house. Sorry for all the trouble. As after that, All Might coming closer to Izuku and put his hand on Izuku's head and said, ha, young man. I'm sorry for also all the trouble, but you can go back to your house. And I'm proud that one of, a quirkless kid like you have managed to get into UA. You are the best student in the general course. Heck, you are even getting much more higher rates and much more higher scores than students in even of course, the hero class and other things like that. You are such a great young man. You will gonna become something great in the future, so keep the good work and go back to your house. As after that, Izuku said, alright. As after that, Izuku just taking his bag and leave the place. As after that, All Might just buffed down again, and after that, the chief of police said, damn it! Damn it! Damn it! As after that, the detective just taken his head down and said, I'm really sad for what I've done to that kid. I'm sure that he's get a lot hurt from that. As All Might said, so that means that we are wrong? As after that, the chief of police just looking into some of the records that about 50, prisoner inside one of the prisons in Japan and other side of the world in America and lots of different places in the world have died at the same moment in a heart attack. As after that, the detective said, yeah, it seems that he's not Reaper. He's quirkless, and maybe he was just scared when he was answering the questions, so it might be just a mistake. But for now, we were wasting our time with just a normal kid. We need to search for the real Reaper, but that means that we are right now came back into square one. As All Might said, well, I'm happy that he wasn't Reaper. He's a good kid. As Principal Nezu said, I need to talk with him later. It wasn't very nice for me to suspect him. Well, Chief of Police, Detective, I think both of us, me and All Might, need to leave the place. See you. As after that, Principal Nezu and All Might leave the place while the Chief of Police start thinking to himself, how could possibly for Reaper to stay alive? He is not in Japan, at least he thinks so. But maybe, the most kills that are happening in Japan, and also Reaper have hit his, have killed some people, like 50 criminals inside different prisons and around the whole world. So that means that Izuku is not the Reaper, at least for now, as Izuku is just walking down the street and the sun is start to set, as immediately from nowhere, Ryuk coming closer to him and said, so, what's happened? As Izuku said, for some weird reason, was it you the one that did that, Ryuk? As Ryuk said, did what? As Izuku said, you know very well what I'm talking about. As Ryuk said, I doesn't have any idea about what you are saying, Izuku. Are you start to go crazy? As Izuku said, stop acting like this. I know that you were the reason for the deaths of the one that helped me, right? As after that, Ryuk said, helped you with what? You know that I cannot help you. I'm only here to watch. As Izuku said, yeah, whatever. I know very well that is you. So stop acting. As Ryuk said, I'm not acting. As Izuku said, yeah, very much. As Izuku just going by, some restaurant and just walking and just looking left and right. And inside one of the restaurants, someone was looking on Izuku as he said, he's much more cuter than I expected. What do you say? As a sound behind the guy said, well, are you sure about this? I think it's a bad idea to go and talk with him. Well, no, I think it's a good idea. He's so cute and I want to go closer to him. I want to talk with him and to know if he is really the one that I'm searching for. if he is really Reaper. But I was just kinda disappointed. What are you disappointing on? Well, I thought that he was gonna have, much more villainous look into his face, but it seems that he's just a normal kid. Or maybe he's just, trying to act like a normal kid, a little cute kid. I wonder how his blood tastes like, as the voice behind the girl said, well, when are we going to talk with him, if that's what do you want? As after that the girl said, well, I think maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a good time. It will gonna be a good time, and also I'm still want to try this thing. I didn't end up from it yet. As the girl just holding a black notebook with the word Death Note on it. As after that, the girl just looking into herself into the glass and said, I want to see what Izuku will gonna do. Now, the question is, should I kill that Katsuki Bakugo that he hate or not? Maybe he want to kill him by himself, so I'm gonna leave him for him. As after that, Toga just closed the notebook and immediately leave the restaurant. And Izuku going back to his house, going inside the house, talking with Bakugo and his mother. Bakugo telling him what's happened with him. Izuku told him that the police officers suspect that he was Reaper or something like that, and Bakugo said, Are they a bunch of idiots or something? You're telling me that All Might and Principal Nezu and the rest of the police officers just suspected that a quirkless kid is the Reaper? Are they really this so desperate? As after that, Izuku said, yeah, but it turned out that is not me, thank God. I was getting actually started thinking that this might actually be me. As after that, Bug said, yeah, whatever. I'm happy that you're still okay, though. As Izuku said, yeah, thanks, Bakugo. I'm going to my room because I need a rest. I really need a lots of rest. Right now, I was kinda scared. As after that, Bug said, yeah, go take a rest, you need it. As Izuku just going into his room, and after that, closing the door behind of him. As he just sit on his bed and taking the Death Note out, as he just looking into death. Of course, inside the notebook. As after that, Ryuk speaks up and says, well, are you going to kill anyone? As Izuku said, I want to know, why did you do that, Ryuk? As Ryuk said, did what? I told you that I didn't do anything. I was waiting for in here. Oh, and did you forget something? What about the 50 apples that you promised me? As Izuku said, I'm gonna give them to you tomorrow. For now, I really need to rest. As after that, Ryuk said, well, you better do it, because if you didn't do that, I'm gonna show myself into All Might. As Izuku said, yeah, whatever. Thank you. What? What are you saying right now, Izuku? Just thank you for helping me. I told you that I wasn't the reason for it. As Izuku said, then what are you saying? Are you saying that there's someone else with the same ability to kill people? As Ryuk just looking into Izuku's eyes. And Izuku said, Ryuk, are you saying that there is another person with another Death Note or something like that? As Ryuk starts chuckling to himself, saying, well, maybe that will gonna be interesting. Wouldn't you say so? As Izuku actually started thinking to himself and said, another Death Note. Is that even possible? As Ryuk said, well, normally on this world, you can only have 3 Death Notes at the same time. There can't be 4 Death Notes. It's only 3. That's the most numbers of the Death Notes that should be on the Earth. More than that should not be existed. As Izuku said, so you are saying that there might be another 2 people in the world that are able to kill people just like me? Well, yeah. And also, just to remember, they might actually done the same deal with the Shinigami of them, just like me. You remember the deal, Izuku? The deal of the Shinigami eyes? As Izuku started thinking to himself and said, the Shinigami eyes? You mean the eyes that giving me the ability to know anyone's name and also the time of their deaths? As after that, Ryuk said, well, yeah. As Izuku said, is that so? As after that Ryuk said, well, how about you take a rest, but aren't you supposed to prepare for the plan on your revenge from Bakugo for tomorrow? As Izuku said, yeah, the OSJ! As after that Izuku immediately stand up, take the notebook and put it on the bench as he starts writing inside of it the names of Bakugo classmates and how they were, will gonna die and the time of the death and everything like that. As after that, after a couple of minutes, Izuku done from doing all of that and said, done and done. No one will gonna suspect that it was Reaper in the first place. As after that, Ryuk said, well, good for you, but I'm quite hungry right now. As Izuku said, I knew that you will not gonna wait for tomorrow to take all the 50 apples. So, as Izuku opened one of the jars and taken 10 apples out of it and throw it into Ryuk, as Ryuk said, oh, thank you, this... as he just eating one of them and said, oh, juicy, so juicy. As after that, Izuku said, enjoy them. I'm gonna give you the rest tomorrow, but for now, I really need to sleep. I'm so tired. As after that, Ryuk said, well, have a good night, Izuku. And remember, there might be someone out there want to kill you. So, just make sure to stay steady for everything. As after that, Izuku said, yeah, whatever. As he just go into sleep and start thinking to himself that he really should be much more careful from now on. What's happened today was just a hit of luck, and Izuku is not believing that the luck will gonna save him in another time in the future, so he should prepare from tomorrow. But for now, this is gonna leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, tell me what you think about this part, and what do you think will gonna happen in the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say than Severed was here.